Now, on a different issue, we've spoken about the attacks against you personally, Elon Musk, from some very prominent voices in the UK who want you both arrested. Some are calling for you to be jailed. Our own ABC here in Australia is also a lover of censorship. It's a state funded, taxpayer funded broadcaster. Their Media Watch program claims that the ex owner, Elon Musk, is increasingly using his platform to spread misinformation and inflame social division. And they ask, can governments and regulators tame the erratic media mogul? Is that really what's happening, Douglas? And is this a good use of our $1 billion plus of taxpayer money that goes to the ABC every single year?
Exactly. I mean, it's amazing, isn't it, Rita? In Australia, in Canada, in Britain, all these countries, among others, have national broadcasters. And as you say, they're in receipt of huge amounts of public money. And when I see those completely indentured broadcasters uh, attacking day after day Elon Musk as having too much power in the media, sorry, guys, uh, you were the guys who were literally given a monopoly. Which has to be broken up by the free market. You're the guys who are still subsidized. And you're the guys who can pump out disinformation all the time under the guise of the official sort of, version of events, and still ridiculously have some legitimacy for doing so. The reason why they're going for Elon Musk, among other things, is that he's beating them all effectively in the ratings. X, Twitter, under his ownership, has become so much more respected and used as a news source than ABC and others, that of course they're concerned, of course they're worried. They should be, because it's perfectly possible that it's not just evil Elon Musk that they've got to rail against. Actually, the problem for them is the audience. They are losing their audience
Mm.
all the time. They keep their $1 billion subsidies, oh yeah, but they're losing audience all the time. And they're losing them, among other things, to Elon Musk. And so, of course, they're bitter. I don't think they're going to have much luck
Well,
extraditing Elon Musk. And the few people, complete cranks in the UK, who've been calling for some kind of censure of me, I've got a horrible surprise for them. They're not going to silence me either. You might as well give it up, guys.
mm. Yeah, well, the assault against free speech in the UK, the two-tier policing, the two-tier justice system there is something that is concerning people around the world. I do wonder if people in the UK realise that a lot of us around the world are looking on in horror. And at a time where in the UK, violent criminals are, including killers, are having their jail times slashed because of overcrowding, they are prioritising locking up what they call far-right extremists. Let's hear from Mark Fairhurst on the BBC.
We will guarantee a prison cell. We will make sure that those people who need to be in prison will be in prison, not necessarily in the area where they live. They may be 200-300 miles away from home, but we will guarantee people a prison cell.
Douglas, you've written in The Spectator about the persecution of the plebs, as you've put it. Explain what you mean by that and this assault against free speech in the UK. And it really is, I think, quite effective, because you're seeing people being arrested for online posts, for retweeting something, for attending a rally that was violent, even if they didn't participate in any of the violence. You can see why people are refraining from saying what they think.
Yeah, the point of this piece, and of course I use plebs in inverted commas. I mean, my point is that I suspect that the authorities, if they try to go down this route, will have quite a hard time, as I say, taking out somebody like Elon Musk. And they'd have a hard time taking out, in that case, I cited Rowan Atkinson, the great comedian who some years ago defended the speech laws in the UK against further encroachment against the freedom of speech in Britain. As Rowan Atkinson said then 10 years ago, he said, I don't think they're going to kind of come for me, but I think that the people who have less of a profile or no profile could be very vulnerable in this situation. I said what Rowan Atkinson saw 10 years or more ago is exactly what's happening now. Because actually, what's happening is that, as well as, by the way, the sudden discovery that our prisons have got masses of room in them, apparently, and the discovery by the police, who can't solve a burglary in most areas in the UK and haven't for years, their discovery that they can be a really crack hit squad when it comes to policing Twitter is an amazing discovery for them. And apart from anything else, it makes their lives a lot easier. It's quite difficult, not that difficult, but it's quite difficult to chase down career criminals who are routinely burglaring villages and cities in the UK. Relatively easy, by contrast, just knock on somebody's door and say, I see that you retweeted this thing and it's regarded as being hate, so come with me. But it's not much of a laugh for the people whose lives are destroyed. And here's the thing, there have been people in recent weeks in the UK who said terrible things online. There were some people who definitely said racist things online. There are other people who retweeted things, including information in the wake of the Southport murders that turned out not to be true. But what an amazing direction the resources of the police are put in. Weeks after the Southport stabbings of the 3 girls slaughtered at a Taylor Swift dance party, we don't know almost anything about the killer, the alleged killer, as I have to say. The court system will probably take a very long time to bring him to justice. The media, by the way, doesn't seem to be particularly bothered about him or his identity or anything that might have inspired him to this act of terror. That's all sort of fallen away. What they have managed to focus on is people retweeting things that turned out not to be true in the wake of that. Oh, and those people have had special courts set up for them and all-night sittings and more, and the jail cells have been found for them. Well, how about speeding up justice when it comes to, for instance, slaughtering young girls at a Taylor Swift dance party? But you can lock up a tweeter in 24 hours. Great example of a completely corrupted and politicized justice system right there.
Douglas Murray, thank you so much for your time this evening.
Thank you.